I'm Brad Chilcote, President of Rock Performance Development. I specialize in helping business owners and CEOs fulfill their ambitions using strategy to focus on what matters most, boost sales by increasing revenue as much as 40% annually, and improve service by increasing the accountability of your workforce. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. In this short video, I'm going to share with you some proven ways to increase accountability within your organization. We've all heard and most likely have seen the effects of an increasing entitlement culture among our employees. Ask yourself these questions. Do you have a team of consistent performers? Or are your employees skilled excuse makers? Do they miss deadlines? Are team members ever insubordinate? Do you have any morale busters in your workforce? On the other hand, do your employees deliver on their commitments every time? Do they forecast accurately, report effectively and timely? Do your employees contribute to the overall team effort and hold each other accountable to results? Does your workforce provide you with an excellent ROI and help you sleep better at night? How would you rate your company's culture on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 represents an entirely accountable culture? In other words, you can enjoy a month-long vacation whenever you would like. The company runs smoothly without you. Bob Prosen, author of the book Kiss Theory Goodbye, makes an excellent point that the measurement of a great leader is based upon what happens when they aren't around. Have you created a culture where things work as well when you are not there as they do when you are? Or on the other hand, is your rating closer to a 1, where you're constantly dealing with chaos and no accountability? Do you have a tough time sleeping at night worrying about broken promises and commitments? And is the majority of your time spent dealing with employee issues rather than focusing on things that would have a more strategic impact to your success? Well, I have good news. First, there are no silver bullets. However, there are proven ways to instill an accountability-based culture, even in companies where an entitlement culture exists. The answer boils down to understanding one thing: human nature. To achieve accountability, there are 3 areas to focus on. And I'm confident that after you hear them, you'll be able to apply this information to truly transform your business culture and increase accountability. I'm providing this information to you so you can watch it as many times as you like and really understand how to apply these 3 areas, because they have proven themselves over and over again in the teams that I have turned around and led throughout my career. So let's get going. Here are the 3 ways to improve employee accountability. The first area to focus on is your leadership style. There's a new normal for American business today. People are your only assets. This is different from what it was like 20 years ago. Running a successful business today requires a completely different paradigm. This paradigm requires us to manage things and lead people. To do so, you must develop a first-rate leadership culture and invest in leadership development. Are you currently investing in leadership development for you and your employees? If not, you should. I recently heard a very disturbing statistic that less than 12% of leaders in America will invest even 1 hour of their time this year towards self-improvement. Is your leadership team among the 12%? Leadership development is a choice, and it requires an investment of time. If you choose to invest, it can be transformational in its effect on your employees, their attitude, and their accountability. Leadership involves human-to-human interaction. In this world of email, podcasts, and webinars, leadership development requires human collaboration and 2-way communication. While it won't show up as a line item on your balance sheet, it will have a huge effect on your bottom line because it will dramatically improve performance. I encourage you to look for workshops, seminars, or books that you can use to improve your leadership and your team's leadership skills. One of my successful clients is a recognized industry leader in Texas, and he always has a book for he and his leadership team to read, discuss, and apply to his business. The discussions occur on a weekly or bi-weekly basis and only take 15 to 30 minutes. But here's the key. Each meeting ends with specific accountable actions for everyone to apply. My client's workforce is a typical workforce. It involves both skilled and unskilled labor, multiple cultures, age groups, and aptitudes. Yet as a result of his leadership development program, his turnover is dramatically less than other businesses in his industry. Based on the reputation of his company, which depends totally on his employees, he has seen consistent growth throughout the past few years. And his industry is related to and very much depends upon the construction industry, one of the hardest hits in today's economy. There are several books I recommend for developing leadership skills, but the three I like most are Good to Great by Jim Collins, Multipliers by Liz Wiseman, and Kiss Theory Goodbye by Bob Prosen. By committing to setting aside some time for improving your team's ability to lead, you will reap unlimited rewards, to include the creation of an accountability culture in your company. The second area of focus is in understanding human nature in a team environment. You see, teams have a hierarchy of effectiveness that is based upon individual hierarchies of needs. This team hierarchy can be represented through the 5 dysfunctions of a team as is described by a book of that name by Patrick Lencioni. This book is a story about a company with an amazing product and some of the best minds in the country, but they just weren't getting it done. Let's review these 5 dysfunctions, how you will recognize them, and most importantly, what your role as a leader should be to overcome them. The first dysfunction in young and newly formed teams involves an absence of trust. When employees do not have trust for others on their team, they will strive to create an image of invulnerability. That is, they will do everything they can to protect themselves, perform in their own fortified silos, and resist change. One of the symptoms you may observe in this environment is the "it wasn't me" or "it wasn't my fault" reply. As a leader, your role in this case is to go first. In other words, you should lead by example in setting trust for your employees. How do you do this? One of the more effective ways is in how you handle problems that members of the team bring to you. And you can be sure in situations where this dysfunction exists, they will bring you plenty. As a business leader, you probably have many of the answers, but the next time an employee comes to you with a problem, resist the temptation to solve it. Rather, take the time to ask as many questions as it takes for them to develop a solution that will work. It may not be your solution, but it should be one that you can reasonably expect will work. By doing this, not only will you be leading in terms of building trust for the individual as well as for the team, but you will be teaching your employees how to effectively solve problems on their own without your help. Dysfunction number 2 involves the fear of conflict. Once a team has built some trust, it is typical that the members will go out of their way to create artificial harmony as their dominant characteristic. In their interactions with you, team members will constantly say, "Everything's fine," although you will have the sense that this isn't so. Your role as a leader now should be to mine for conflict by asking a lot of questions. Apply the management by walking around philosophy, where you stop and ask your employees, "How's it going? And what are you doing now?" It's important for you to be sincere for caring about the employee's perspective when you do this, and to not appear as if you're just looking over their shoulder. You will learn a lot that can be used in further building trust and building a strong team, while discovering opportunities for removing conflict. The first 2 dysfunctions relate to the basics of teamwork and how your employees work effectively together. The third dysfunction that may exist involves a lack of commitment among team members. My clients find that commitment is one of today's greatest challenges for success. To be committed, employees must be willing to do whatever it takes to succeed. This involves both a willingness to go outside of their box of comfort and try new things, as well as persevering to get back up when they've been knocked down or hit a brick wall, continuing to strive for success. This lack of commitment may be a result of some ambiguity on what the team goals and targets are. So as a leader, the best thing you can do is to force clarity and closure. Clarity for what the goals and objectives for your business are, as well as what your vision is, and closure for confirming that the team understands them. The more clarity you can provide in writing out your vision for the business as well as the current goals you have to meet your vision, the better. But don't stop at writing them down and presenting them to your team. Ask questions and provide opportunities for your team to restate their goals as a team and as individuals so that you can ensure they are aligned with yours. Dysfunction number 4 involves an avoidance of accountability between and among the members of a team. It often occurs due to the countless challenges your employees will run across while working toward their goals. The symptom you will observe is that team members will begin to lower some of their standards of service in an attempt to maintain motion. You'll see a lot of activity, but a decrease in results. Your role during this time is to confront the difficult issues, no matter what they are. Don't ignore the elephant in the room. I'm not saying that you should solve their issues, but that you should confront them openly with the team in order to allow them to develop workarounds and options for overcoming them and achieve your goals. The fifth and final dysfunction of the team involves an inattention to results. The symptom you will observe is one where the egos and desire for personal status on the team become primary motivators for its members. Your role as a leader now should be to focus upon collective outcomes of the team. You should raise the bar such that individual recognition will depend as much or even more upon the collective results of the team as the individual accomplishments are. And you should remain vigilant for identifying and removing any non-performers from the team. So to review the second method for improving accountability, as a leader you should first establish trust, mind for conflict to overcome the fear of conflict, force clarity and closure to achieve commitment, confront and not ignore the difficult issues in order to build accountability, and focus on the collective outcomes to maintain the team's attention toward achieving results. Once you've begun implementing an accountability-based leadership culture and results begin improving through better teamwork, the last area of focus should be to eliminate mediocrity by creating a culture of overachievement. If you asked your leaders for the top 3 company goals and key performance indicators, would they respond with the same answer? Are your employees and team challenging you with the results they accomplish? Does your workforce exhibit the same level of passion for your business as you do? If you don't like the answers, here is what I want you to do. First, make certain you have the right people on the bus in the right seats. In other words, are your people in the right roles for your company? Jim Collins covers in his book, Good to Great. To quote him, "The executives who ignited the transformations from good to great did not first figure out where to drive the bus and then get people to take their seats. No, they first got the right people on the bus and the wrong people off the bus, and then figured out where to drive. If you have the wrong people, the longer you take to remove them, the worse it will become for your team. It may even get to the point where your team loses all of the teamwork you worked hard to build and has to start over from scratch. Don't forget, the leader's role is to enforce accountability. Confront the difficult issues before they become catastrophes. Next, you should address the following 3 questions. Are your expectations clear? Are they written down, and can everyone on your team restate them in their own words? Are your metrics congruent with your goals? And do you hold your people accountable to achieve them? When developing metrics, you should follow some important principles that Bob Prosen provides in his book, Kiss Theory Goodbye. First, Mr. Prosen states that fewer are better. You should only track the significant few metrics that pertain to your top objectives. Second, these key metrics must be easy to understand and interpret. They should be understandable at a glance and put in a form that replaces debate with action. Mr. Prosen recommends the best format to use is a color-coded one that consists of only 2 colors, green or red. Your metrics should be developed such that any objective person will immediately conclude whether there is a problem to be addressed or not. Don't leave room for any interpretation. Third, as you're working toward creating a winning culture, do you use an objective hiring process to find the best people? So there you have it, the 3 areas for transforming your employees into a culture of accountability.